Hello gang, and welcome to another United Kingdom talk from myself, Chris Reardon. The sunglasses are on today because once again it's a beautiful, clear, blue sky, and I'm in the garden again, and the birds are singing, and nothing could be better. And the cat is over there watching me, aren't you, Katie? It's strange how they sit there sometimes watching you. I'm going to kick off with a few emails in a second or two. Just let me tell you about last night at the Bingay last night. A very successful Bingay. Possibly the busiest this year. Don't know why. Sometimes you get a really busy one. Sometimes you get one that isn't so busy. Why is that? There's no, telling. You can't sort of, I think years ago when I started DJing, there were certain nights that you could guarantee would always be busy. Now you're never quite sure, and it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. It tends to be up and down a bit. Is society changing? Are you changing, my darlings? If you are, do tell me all about it on the email, okay? Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email as always. Chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Now, I must apologise, as I say, for the sunglasses, but it is rather glary today. I have a nice crisp white, well, I say crisp white shirt. I'm not going to lie to you. This is the same shirt I had on last night at Bingay. It's not smelling. Already today, I've done a load of washing. It's hanging out on the line. I've done sheets today. Sheets and what else have we got up there? T-shirts and tea towels. It's all hanging out in the sun. Thus saving the world just that little bit more and not having to turn on the, I was going to say the dishwasher then, the tumble dryer. It's all hanging out. Pardon? The washing, dear. Do pay attention when I'm talking to you. Right, so that was Bingay last night. Victoria turned up last night. Now, Victoria, I think she's only been once before, and she brought Lindsay, and I think the other lady was Paula, who works on Weakest Link. I think it was Paula anyway. And Lindsay was very impressed with the brand new little video flip cam, and he wanted to buy one. And I said, I'm sorry. Not available in this country yet. Only for special people who have had birthdays. Yes, he wanted this. He wanted to buy it off me. I'm sorry, not for sale. How can you be going out selling your birthday presents? You can't do that, can you? Oh, do you remember, was it around about Christmas time? Someone, I think, had set up some sort of website where you could put on your... no, wasn't it eBay? Actually, was it eBay? I think it might have been eBay, where people were putting on their unwanted Christmas presents literally a few hours after they opened them. I think that's dreadful. Didn't you? I think if I saw one of my Christmas presents on eBay, I wouldn't bother giving someone a present like that again. Unless, of course, it's my nieces and nephews, who do nothing wrong, ever, in their entire lives. One of my nephews, Gary, he's the 22, 23? He's the 23-year-old. He's on holiday at the moment with his girlfriend. They've hired a caravan. I can't remember where it was now, somewhere up north. So I hope to hear from him soon, and I shall tell you all the gossip. I hope they're getting on that. It's their first little holiday together. Oh, all together now. Oh, can you just imagine now, holding hands while walking along the beach? Don't suppose they'd be doing any fishing or anything like that. Not nice. Do you remember your first holiday with your partner? Do you? My first holiday, who was that with? Ooh, apart from family. Do you know, I don't know. I think... Do you know, I'm not sure. Not actually sure. I can't remember who my first holiday was with, other than my parents. I went away, of course, with the Scouts, camping and that sort of thing. No, I don't remember now. What was your first holiday like with a partner? Was it successful? Or was it a nightmare? Oh, hang on a minute. No, it would have been my wife. We went on honeymoon to Benidorm. Years ago, that was. 1983? I think it was, I can't remember. Divorced now, of course. Turn the other way. I think it was 1983. We went to Benidorm. It's okay. Yeah, it's all right, Benidorm. I always remember being in the lift there, in the Orange Hotel. Blimey, isn't it funny how you start talking about things and then you get these memories come flooding back? We were staying at Le Hotel Orange. To put a bit of a continental accent on there, okay? Not Orange Hotel, Le Hotel Orange. Although that does sound more French than Spanish, doesn't it? I'm not very good at a Spanish accent. The Orange Hotel. And we was in the lift and there's no door, which I thought was blooming dangerous, didn't you? But I gather most hotels abroad don't have, or certainly at that time, didn't have an internal door. When I say it didn't have a door, I mean inside. Once you've gone inside the lift, okay, the front door closes, so there isn't a blooming great big gap in the wall, but there's no, like, internal door on the lift. So it's very dangerous, really. A child could put out a hand, or anyone come to that, and you'd get caught in the lift as it went up. A bit dangerous, isn't it? Have you been in any hotels abroad? Do they have internal doors on the lifts? Do let me know. Chris... Oh, there's a plane going over there. Let's see what that is. It's quite high up, that one. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Now, with the Bingay and the karaoke... 2 nights that I do, as you know. Bingay is now on Mondays at the Golden Lion, and karaoke is on Wednesdays at the Golden Lion. We're going to start the Bingay also at a place in Ealing in a couple of weeks, very shortly. Actually, we would have started it by now because, as you know, the show is always a week ahead. Okay, so I'll let you know about how that went this time next week, hopefully, or at least the day after next week. Yes, the karaoke and the Bingay, I've managed now to work out on Facebook. You know Facebook? On the internet? Oh, Joy wants to know what Facebook is. Okay, Joy, Facebook is like a group of... Oh, the cat's arrived. Hello, darling. All right? Facebook is like this... It's like a group on the internet of lots of people which you can join, and it's also a good way of finding past friends, or indeed present friends on there. And there's all sorts of stuff on there. One of the things you can do is advertise all the things that you do. And I advertise this radio show on there, both the radio side and the video side of it, and also karaoke and Bingay and DJ nights. I advertise them all on there, and you get messages from people and what have you. Well, I've now worked out a way to actually advertise the things I do. And, I mean, it's always been on there. It takes me a while. Oh, the cat's knocked the clock over now. Katie, how am I supposed to know what time it is now, dear? Oh, just a minute now. Pick that up there. I've got this, you see, I've got a clock here in front of me. Otherwise, I won't know what time to finish. Do you want... Is it some attention you want? Oh, come here a minute, then. Here we are. There she is. Katie's here. She's been a little bit... Yeah, where are you? That's it. All right? She's been a little bit boisterous today, aren't you? Eh? Are you being boisterous? Oh, she's going to dig it. Oh, the claws. Put the claws away. Oh, poor me. They don't mean to hurt, do they? Yeah, on the karaoke, on the Facebook, I now can advertise my nights like the karaoke and then send an invite to everyone who's my friend on the karaoke, knowing that they will get the invite, you see. So it's quite a good idea. So I did it for the Bingay this week, and I'm wondering kind of really if Victoria, is it because of the little Facebook thing that you arrived? That you came to the Bingay last night, or did you just remember it was on? Just interested, really, you know, because if you send out something like that and only 1 or 2 people out of, I don't know, 500 turn up, then I think it's still worth doing, because it hasn't actually cost you anything to send the thing. So I sent out these little invites to everyone, including Suko, our friend in New York, and there's a few emails from Suko, which I'm going to go straight into in a second. And Suko says she know. Oh, just a minute. I'm losing things here. Everything's blowing around today. Hang on. Oh dear, that's better. Yeah, Suko has put a little message on the Bingay advert saying that she may have to adjust her travel plans. Are you coming to play Bingay, Suko? "Oh, you coming to play?" Yeah, it'll have to be a family outing, although very, very expensive for the Americans, unfortunately, to come here at the moment. So that's a new thing I've learned to do on Facebook. I'm sure you can all do it already, can't you? Yes. It takes me a while to catch up. Oh, yes. It's the new technology. We have trouble understanding how it all works. Anyway, I've sussed that out now, so now doing that, and I'm doing the same with the karaoke. Now, we've got our first karaoke night on Wednesday this week. We've moved it from Tuesday to Wednesday. And I mentioned before, that's because I've looked around in the newspapers, and there seems to be... it's a noisy bird, isn't it? Do we have to have so much noise, you lot? Hello, I'm trying to do a programme here. Oh, it's the Magpies again. Magpie. Magpie used to be a TV programme on ITV for children. It was like kind of ITV's, which is the TV station here in the UK, it was ITV's cheap copy of Blue Peter. It wasn't as good. It was a little bit more, shall we say, laid back than Blue Peter, I thought. We used to watch it anyway. And at Christmas time, they'd always have this charity collection thing. Now, on Blue Peter, always around Christmas time, they would choose something that you could collect and send in, and then I think they found some way of selling it, and then they would make money for a certain charity, and they would do this every year on Blue Peter. I remember one year it was stamps. You know, you collected stamps and sent them into the TV programme. Other years it was tin foil. I always remember collecting tin foil, which I think included milk bottle tops, which of course you don't see much of now, do you? No milk bottle tops, because everyone buys cartons. Do you miss the milkman coming round? Not you, madam. Yes, we all know about you and the milkman. I mean, I worry about people like Joy, to be honest. I mean, I don't know what on earth went on when she had her milk delivered. Eh? Yes, he used to come around. I think when we lived in Roehampton, he'd come round at like quite early, about 6 o'clock in the morning, and you'd hear his little van. You wouldn't. You'd hear him. You'd hear the bottles. I mean, not so much now. This is before double glazing. We all had single glazing then, didn't we? Huh? In the 70s, yeah, we all had in the 60s and 70s, it was all single glazing. God, don't I remember that? We used to have, and seriously, there was no heating in people's houses, maybe a couple of electric fires, that's about it. I remember the winter times in when we lived in our flat in Roehampton. I remember the winter times, and we would wake up some mornings and there would be ice on the inside of the windows. Honestly. It was so... but we didn't seem to feel the cold so much now. Would you agree with that? Can you cast your mind back, if you're old enough, to perhaps when you were a child, or those of you who are a bit older even, if you know, when you were adult in the 70s? Did you have central heating? And please, even as if you're not in the UK, anyone at all, I'd be interested to know this. Did you have central heating? And do you remember winters being much colder? Because I certainly remember having ice on the inside of my bedroom window when I used to wake up. Let us know about that, OK? Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Now, where were we going with that one? I can't remember now. Don't ask me. We flipped from one subject to the other, didn't we? Oh, yes, Bingay. Incidentally, one of the Bingay prizes at the moment is an electric fan heater, for those of you that don't have central heating and that sort of thing. All right? Yes, going back to the milkman then. When we had single glazing, you could hear a lot more coming through the windows, so to speak. Now we've got double glazing. I mean, certainly when I close my windows, you can't hear an awful lot outside. Perhaps a plane coming over. You certainly do. I've got a school just over there, not far from me, and I can't hear the children playing when the window's closed. Sometimes in the morning, if I've had a bit of a lay-in, around about 10:30, I do get woken up by the children playing, which it's not an unpleasant sound, is it? I do get woken up by the children playing. But when you close the windows, you can't hear anything. Now, of course, back in the 70s, when the milkman used to come round, you could hear all this chinking of glass as he brought his milk bottles up, doesn't it? Do you remember that? Unfortunately, that noise is fast disappearing with so many of us, including myself, buying milk and that from the supermarket in those recyclable plastic things. I think it's a shame. Milk from the milkman is also a lot more expensive. Now, I don't drink an awful lot of milk. I drink a lot less milk now than I did about a year ago. That was because of the old mucus problem. Do you remember when I would be sniffing away all the time? Like, I mean, it's not a nice noise, is it? So a lot of that has stopped now since I cut down on the milk. And I suppose, I think I drink less than a pint of milk a week now, and that's all in tea. It doesn't get added to anything, potato or anything like that. I do not add milk to anything. Come to think of it, I don't either add salt or sugar to anything. The only thing I put sugar on is a little bit, about a table, no, not a table, about 2 or 3 teaspoons of sugar on porridge in the morning. But then again, of course, I have my blueberries, my chopped up banana, and sometimes grapes with it, and that counteracts the sugar, doesn't it? Or am I clutching here? Am I clutching at straws? So I think it's a great shame when we had the single glaze and you could hear the chinking of the bottles. Also, you used to hear the dustman come round in the morning. Now, I don't hear him either now. The double glazing is really quite good. And the dustman's noise, there was a couple of noises first thing in the morning that used to kind of send pleasant shivers up my back. I'm sure you know what I mean by that. Not the sort of shivers you get when you say, oh, someone's just walked over my grave. A really pleasant, warm feeling. And that was, strangely enough, the noise of the dustman. Don't know why. It always used to send a really nice shiver up my back. And also, Mum hoovering in the morning. Because Mum hoovered every single morning. Oh yes, our house was spick and span. I wish I'd carried on the hoovering here. Gets done about once a week here. Sometimes, dare I say, and please don't tell anyone I told you this. Once every 2 weeks. Shh. Once every 2 weeks. I haven't got time to do hoovering. I need someone to come and do cleaning. So back to the Bingay then. So it's a little story there about our old milkman. Do you miss the milkman? Do you buy milk from the supermarket or does the milkman deliver? Let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Couple of the... yes, Suko is going to alter her travel plans. Is she coming to play Bingay? I bet she'll just turn up. She won't let me know. She'd turn up with the entire family. Unfortunately, we can't have children in that pub after 7 o'clock, I think it is, Suko. So if you bring your lovely daughter... that you'll have to leave her outside, unfortunately, tied to a lamppost. I'm only joking. I say that, Suko, because there was this programme on here in the UK, which you've heard me mention a couple of times, Balls of Steel it's called. And it's just, they just do stupid things. And I think I mentioned one of the characters I like in it is Scummy Mummy. And she's got a child, usually, and she just does terrible things. Nasty things. Not physically to the child, just kind of mentally to him. For example, I'm sure I told you about this. One of the things she does, this is all for the television, one of the things she does is she goes into a pub, and as the child is too young, she ties him to a lamppost. Leaves him out there, goes and get a drink, comes back outside, and of course, while she's in the pub, people are stopping and looking at this child, and they say to the child, "What are you doing there? Who's tied you up against the post?" And the child goes, "Mummy told me not to talk to strange people." It's hilarious. It's naughty, very naughty, hilarious. And then she comes outside, Scummy Mummy, she's called. She comes outside with a bowl and a bottle of orange, like a dog bowl, and puts the orange in the dog bowl, and then puts it on the floor. And this person says, "You're not giving that to that child like that." And she says, "Yeah, why?" And she says, and a mobile phone comes out, and she starts ringing the police. Oh, it's hilarious. That's why I said that, Suga. But I don't mean it, Jade. Please, darling, don't hate me. Everyone hates me. They all hate me. Anyway, I'm only joking, but unfortunately, yeah, we don't. They don't. Not me. They don't allow children in the pub after 7 o'clock. So I'll have to be Suko playing Bingay with her husband Jerry. Yes, that's what I reckon. You could win one of our many prizes. Now, I've got 2 new prizes at the moment, which have proved rather popular. The prizes constantly change. I don't go out specifically looking for a prize. I go out looking and I think what's available today. I think it's the best way to do it. And 2 new prizes we've got. We've got what are they called? iPower speakers. I wish I had some here to show you. I haven't got any left now. Which are kind of like a little animal, and its 2 hands are like this, you know, up either side of its face, and in the hands are speakers. And you plug your iPod or other MP3 player into these iPower speakers, and the noise comes out, and it all looks rather cool, I must say. It's a rather young word, that, isn't it? Cool. Once again, I've knocked another 10 years off my life, haven't I? All I need now is the injections around the eyes. Which one of the drag queens, incidentally, told me the other day. He said, "Are you right? Does it worry you, the lines around your eyes?" I said, "Yes." And he said, "You know what? A quick jab there and a quick jab there, and they'd all be gone." I don't like the idea of all that stuff, do you? My niece, Tracy, she's 21. You know, the one who's just moved into the house with her boyfriend. Well, they've been there a couple of months now. She reckons that she will have it. And I know so many people that are up to have... I mean, it's an awful lot of money as well. This stuff is not cheap. But I know a lot of people that want to have all these things done. There's one person in particular who comes to the karaoke night, and she has spent thousands, I mean thousands of pounds, having stuff to her face done. Now, she's about to have something else done, and I'm going to tell you this now. I hope I haven't told you this before. If you're eating, this may turn your stomach. Okay? I'll warn you that. So if you want to place me on pause for a while, go on, pause. Have you paused? Let me just... There you are. Was you on pause? That's how it goes when you pause. Are you going to pause me halfway through a sentence like this? You see, it doesn't quite work because the birds are singing, doesn't it? Did you think I got stuck? I got stuck. I got stuck. I got stuck. I got stuck. No, maybe not. Right, I'm going to tell you now what she's going to have done. Recently, she went in to prepare for this facial operation, and she had to have a cranial x-ray, which cost her, the x-ray alone cost her £600, 1,200 American dollars. Okay? Now, I did find this out indirectly from someone else. And once I found that out, I found out what on earth is she having done? A cranial x-ray is where they x-ray the whole of your head. Now, are you ready for this? All right? What she's going to have done is an incision over her head, right over there. And apparently, and this is the bit... Oh my God, where's that wind come from? We're going to be blown away. What's going on? Dear me, got windy suddenly then, didn't it? So she's having an incision right across the top of her head, okay? And literally, and this, as I say, this may turn your stomach. Are you ready for this? Literally, they're going to peel her face down and adjust her cheekbones and her chin and some other bits and pieces and remove some hair from there. That's what she's having done. I don't know what to say, really. I mean, sometimes I can understand people doing the Botox, trying to get rid of lines and that, but to have something done like that, I mean, it's a huge risk. I'm sure you've seen some people on the television or on films, who have had stuff done. The guy in, I can't remember his name now, wasn't he in Magnum? We saw, do you remember the TV series Magnum? I think that was a 70s TV series, and he's had some work done, and his face just doesn't look right now. It looks like it's been stretched too much. I might have that wrong there, I'm not quite sure, but I think it was the guy in Magnum. And where, for example, I mean, if I take my glasses off, right, and I smile, okay, you kind of expect there to be lines there, because I'm 45, that way, you kind of expect there to be lines there and there and there. Whereas his lines are kind of in the wrong place. So presumably, you have to go back and have that done again. Oi, what's wrong with you? Oh, the cat smoked. No, it's all right. I think she was a little bit concerned then. Did you hear her meow? She's a bit concerned I'm going to have something done to my face and she's not going to recognise me. Don't you worry, Katie. I'm all right, darling. Do you want some cosmetic surgery, Katie? Shall we dye the cat? What colour? Green? I think a green cat would look nice, didn't you? I'm only joking. But to have so much done to your face like that. And I was talking to another person. I don't really judge people who want to spend their money like that. It's entirely up to them. But there are other people who have terrible accidents or fires and things like that, who then need to have work done. Which fortunately, in this country, if you've had a terrible accident or something like that, in this country, here in the UK, you can get the National Health to pay for that. So for the end user, say I had a terrible accident and my face was really badly disfigured, the NHS will pay for it in a lot of cases. I know in other countries, such as the States, you'd have to pay for that yourself, unless you have some sort of insurance. And these people who have to have work done on their face because of injuries, and it's a very painful thing. And they can do some marvellous things now. But someone else, nameless of course, someone else who will remain nameless, mentioned this to me, and she says she gets very angry when people who already look quite good then spend even more money trying to make themselves look better. When there are people who really need the operation and have to wait. I don't know what you think about that. Good or bad? Cosmetic surgery. Let us know. Would you have it done? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk is the email address. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Interesting. I had my teeth done when I was a child. My teeth were sticking out like that. They used to call me Bucktooth at school, or Bugs. All right, Bugs. My teeth used to stick out like that. So I did have that done. Is that the same thing as I'm saying here about people who have their entire faces done? Isn't it the same? Just to have a small bit done, like your teeth? Or to have your entire face done with literally your face being pulled down, adjusted, and then pushed back up again? She's going to be in a lot of pain, isn't she? And I think it's something that I really wouldn't want to have to do unless I'd had some awful thing happen to my face. I don't know. Let us know what you think on that, okay? Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. One of the other new prizes we've got at the moment at Bingay is small DAB radios. And we put the first one of those out last night, or I put the first one of those out last night, which went on the first game. So clearly that's going to be a popular prize, and I need to order some more. Actually, I need to make a little note of that. Order DAB radios for Bingay, yes. We've also got a couple of new Australian chefs there, and these boys are really good cooks. And they've named all their menu. They've named their menu after different television and film stars. And I last night had not a Tom Cruise. Who's the other one? There's someone who's very like Tom Cruise. Begins with B. I can't think of his name now. Oh, no, that's gone. I think he might have been in Fight Club, the film Fight Club. Anyway, I had one of those which consisted of a burger with a piece of bacon and some cheese and chips. Brad Pitt, that was it, Brad Pitt. So I got it, came eventually. Brad Pitt, who I have to say, I think I fancy on the same lines as possibly a little bit more than Justin Timberlake. Because he's a bit more of a man, isn't he? A little bit like myself. Pardon? So there we are. That was last night at Bingay. Now let's move on to these emails, or we'll never get through them. Also, that's it. Where's my emails gone? Just a minute. Oh, is that them there? Oh, there we are. That's it here. Oh, incidentally, something arrived in the post this morning, which surprised me. Something completely unexpected. Isn't it great to receive something through the letterbox and completely not know about it? Last night also we had 2 people on holiday from New Zealand. Some Kiwis were in last night. They call themselves Kiwis, New Zealand people. And they played, I think they played all the games. Eventually, I'm pleased to announce that the husband, he won a large bottle of Smirnoff. And they played all the games and eventually won, so I was pleased about that. I do like it when people stay all night and eventually win something. It's nice, that is. And they were lovely. And apparently, I don't know if he will or not, but he did tell me he was going to send me a special Kiwi hat in the post. So I gave him the United Kingdom Talk address, and hopefully that will arrive in the post. So thank you very much. And I did give him a little DVD of the show as well. So if you're watching that, I didn't find out your names, did I? The 2 of you from New Zealand. You're probably home by now, but I hope you enjoyed our little night of fun, okay? Now, this arrived in the post today, completely and totally unannounced, from Southern Electricity, who is the supplier of the very small amount of electricity that I buy now here in Royal Berkshire due to my solar panels providing me with most of my energy. Well, a lot of it anyway, not all of it, a lot of it. My electricity bill, of course we're coming up to summertime now, the sun is climbing in the sky, those solar panels are chucking out that electricity. If I tell you last week I spent 30 pence on electricity, that's 60 cents. That's all I had to buy last week, 30 pence. The rest was made here by my solar panels. And this week, I gather it's going to be blue skies and sunshine all week, so I reckon this week I won't buy any. In fact, I'll probably make more than I need, and that will turn the meter backwards, putting me in credit for next week. Fantastic, isn't it? Anyway, Southern Electric, little box arrived, and I thought, what on earth is this? And I opened the box, and what's in there? 2, not 1, but 2 energy-saving bulbs. A 75-watt one and a 60-watt one, and there's a little letter here. It says, here's a bright idea to cut your bills and help the planet. As the UK's leader in renewable energy, we're committed to helping you be more energy efficient. That's why we've sent you 2 free energy-saving light bulbs to help you do your bit and save you money as well. Which I think is great. I just think that's fantastic. What a good way of marketing. And I'm pleased with those. The only thing is, of course, all my light bulbs in here are energy efficient. And besides, I hardly use them anyway, as I have my own solar powered lighting system here that I set up myself. So a little bit useless to me, so I shall pass those on to my dear sister, who still has not replaced. My sister's one of these people who's, well, not my sister, but my sister's husband, he's kind of decided, I think, that he will wait until bulbs blow and then replace them with the new ones. But you're wasting money, dears. Replace those bulbs now and help save the planet. Every little helps. Although you can understand how people feel when they go past these offices with all the lights blazing in the middle of the night. It's annoying, that, isn't it? You kind of think to yourself, well, you're going to change, I don't know, how many bulbs are in your house, 5 or 6 light bulbs. What use is that when you've got offices leaving hundreds and hundreds of lights on all night? Got to be two-way. The government needs to sort that out. Right, on to the emails then, my loves. Now, we're going to start off with Tony's email, because we kind of cut off halfway through that on the last show, didn't we? I actually meant to start the show with this, but once again, I've rabbited on, forgetting what the time is, even though I have a clock down to the left of me there. It's a liberty, that's what it is. Chris, he says, oh, here comes the wind again. We'll just wait for that to pass. Is there a tornado coming? Oh, Dorothy, what's happening, Dorothy? Aunty Em? Aunty Em? The Wizard of Oz, if you didn't know. Come on, wind, stop now. Don't know where that came from, actually. It was all right a minute ago, wasn't it? It's lovely sitting here in the sun. Here we go. Tony was saying he likes Earl Grey tea in the last email, and then he went on to tell about his small solar panels. He said, on other subjects, your video system has been demonstrated on YouTube. Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying that. Now, as for the recording birdsong, your sound recorder, because I said, shall I leave my little portable, here it is, my little portable recording gadget outside, okay, and record my own version of birdsong, which I have now done, but before I did it, this email arrived. He says, your sound recorder will be perfect. As for where to put it, now that's the thing. He says, I know there is woodland around you, but the aeroplane noise will be a problem. If it's only the dawn chorus, you are in luck. Most Heathrow flights don't start until 4:45 a.m. As for the chorus, it generally starts at 3:30 in the morning, obviously earlier as it gets lighter. And now the warm weather is here, Leith Hill, which is somewhere I used to go as a child. Mum and Dad used to take us there on little outings. It's only like a countryside area full of woods, and it's very pleasant. He says, Leith Hill, I must go there actually. I might take my camera and my microphone up there and do a show from there. That'd be quite pleasant to do it from different places. Leith Hill is the same the day with the birds singing before the sun rises. As you know, I'm up there quite a lot, but I'm also at places like Frensham Pond. Now, I've heard of Frensham... There comes a bird down. I thought it was going to attack me then. I've heard of Frensham Pond. I'm not quite sure where it is exactly. Frensham Little Pond. Your garden would be a great place to start and test your recorder. Hopefully, in the near future, I will buy a semi-pro field recorder. So it's a recording device. I just need some more private work for what my wife calls toy money. Toys? These are not toys, dear. You tell your wife these are not toys. Where's the sun gone? Or is a cloud? It's all right, there's a cloud. Toy money. Toys, he says, I say. Toys, I say. These are pieces of high-quality recording equipment that any self-respecting radio broadcaster would be pleased to own, as she wanders off, saying they are still boys' toys. What a cheek. You should say that about all her kitchen gadgets he insists on having, Tony. You know, want this, want that for the kitchen. They're all women's toys. Cheek. Toys, this? Dear me. The shows are great, keep them coming. As for you in a pair of sequin Speedos, which I was threatening to wear the other day, he says, nah, I don't mean it. No, go on, I dare you. Oh, you probably get more viewers. I doubt that very much. I mean, I must admit, you have got me hooked, mate, and if I'm in the area, I'll pop in. Google Earth is a wonderful thing. Your shed stands out perfectly. Can you see that on the Google Earth thing? Can you really? He says, but don't worry, I'll wait for a proper invite first. Oh, and if you want chocolate, just wait to see my wife Debbie with 7 children. We have a sweet shop in the kitchen. She spends, are you ready on this? £780 at Macro, which is like it's like a warehouse shop type thing where you can get things cheaper. She spent £780 at Macro a couple of weeks ago stocking it up, but it does only last 4 months. You name it, we've probably got it. Yorkie, Galaxy, Mars, Rolo, Milky Bar, Crunchy, Aero, and many more. Oh, I like a Crunchy. Didn't you? That golden honeycomb, you bite into it and your mouth is alive, isn't it? Your mouth is alive with the sound of Crunchy. You see, I should be in advertising. I should. one of the people in... Now, who was it? I think it was Lindsay, who was at the Bingay. He reckons I'd be good on Bid Up TV or QVC selling things. Well, I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure. My mate, I've got a mate, Michael, who actually does... He's on Bid Up TV. You might have seen him if you watch it here in the UK. He always looks really smart. He's got a slightly cant voice. I mean, he'd kill me if you knew I was telling you. He's got a slightly canned voice, Michael, on Bid Up TV. And he's been on there a while, and he's proved quite popular. He's really good at the job. But the first thing they ever gave him to sell was a packet of 6 double electrical sockets that you would fix onto the wall in your house. How do you talk about something like that for 20 minutes? The sun's gone in again. There's another cloud. How do you talk about something like that for 20 minutes, eh? A packet of 6 double electrical sockets to wire into your main supply. But he managed it, and he sold them all. I'll leave it now. Look after yourself, and that's from Tony. Thank you, Tony. Nice to hear from you, sir. Hello to Dougie, who says, enjoyed very much the video you took at your sister's. She has a very nice home. Yes, she does. I mean, it could be cleaned a little bit more often, I think. But with 3 dogs and 4 cats and 2 older children, well, 3 older children living there now, and 2 older children and 1 little one, and a husband who got so many hobbies, including taking motorcycles apart and this, that and the other, you can't win, can you? Doesn't matter how many times you hoover the floor. Dougie says, all this time I've been watching you, it just blows me away how life in the States and in the UK, for the most part, is the same for the common people. Oh yeah, absolutely. But isn't it the same in a lot of countries? Very similar in America and Australia. Barbados? No, not Barbados have very similar food to ours. But no carpets on the floor because it's so hot. I don't suppose you need carpets on the floor in Barbados. And indeed a lot of the other continental countries. Italy, similar, but again no carpet. Oh, I just saw a little ladybird flying across. I recognised her little red wings. Aren't they pretty things, ladybirds, with all those dots? So is it the dots on the ladybird and you can tell how old it is, or is that just a myth? Oh, here comes the sun again. Is that a myth? Dots on a ladybird, does that indicate how old it is? Let me know, Chris at UnitedKingdomTalk.co.uk. Yeah, I think you'll find most countries in the Western world are very similar living conditions. Doug goes on to say, just the governments are different. Well, yes, they are, yeah. And you sure do drop a lot of American brand names. Do I? Do I really? I never noticed, really. We just sit here and have a conversation, don't we? But yet, hard for me to come up with something British here in the States. Like look at this, our BSR stroke ADC turntables still around. I remember those. BSR turntables. I mean, my DJing, yes, I'm sure I do remember BSR turntables. I have to say I haven't seen one for years. Not for years. And it's a shame, isn't it? But technology moves on. I mean, I DJ completely now from a laptop. There's nothing for me to remove from a sleeve or anything like that. When we went from records to CDs, you still had a physical thing that you could take out and hold and look at, didn't you? I do miss records. But you have to move on. You can't be left behind. There's plenty of DJs that still refuse point blank to play CDs, let alone move on to a computer. And it is a shame. But I suppose also for the green people, then computers carrying around loads of music are better things, because you haven't got all that plastic and all that metal stuff that they put on CDs, have you? It is a shame, though. It is a shame. And I used to love, we had several actually, and I had a couple myself, of the record players with the auto changer. and you stack up 5 or 6 records and you pull this arm across and it sits down, and there'd be 6 records lined up, and when one finished playing, the next one would drop down and the needle would come across, and it was all mechanical and all very fantastic, and it didn't always work, as you know. If maybe the record didn't drop down properly and it would start spinning on top of the other one, or the needle would kind of miss the record and land outside it or too far in the middle. I suppose really when you play an MP3, which I have to tell Joy, it's alright Joy, I will explain. An MP3, it's a piece of music that's on the computer, and you can see it and you just push a button and it plays, but there's nothing physical involved, it's all on the computer. And no, it's not as much fun playing an MP3 on the computer. It really isn't. I was sent an email the other day offering me the chance to try a new piece of equipment. And this piece of equipment you literally hold in your hand. And on there you load in all your music tracks. And you look at it and it's kind of 2 turntables held in your hand. And literally all you've got to do is push a couple of buttons to mix the music together and play it out. And I sent them an email back thanking them for the offer, but I had to mention that, as a DJ, I think there is a visual aspect to it. No one wants... I just about get away with a laptop. You drag and drop your music and you adjust it there, but you can kind of still dance around on that, and it's still a bit visual. And I just think, turning up at a venue with this thing held in your hand, it doesn't look anything, does it? Where's the visual aspect of that? Unless all DJs have now got to start learning to do special dances and things like that. Going back again to records, Doug. When it was very visual, you saw the DJ look through his box of records, or her indeed, look through his or her, and I know a lot of very good female DJs I've worked with over the years. I've met Princess Julia, she's a big DJ here in the UK. Charlotte, she's a lovely girl I knew for years and years, and many others. But you would see a DJ look through a box of records, select the record, pull it out of the box, put it on the turntable, line it up, headphones on, play the record. With a little thing you're holding, what do you see? It's just, all you're going to see is him moving his thumb. Not for me, that. Not for me. But yeah, I remember the BSR decks. Who were the other manufacturers of record decks? Pioneer, of course. The Pioneer record decks. Technics, which are still kind of the industry standards. Horrendously expensive for a pair of Technics decks now. You'd be looking at £700-800 maybe. There's another one I can't remember for the moment. What's the other? There was another couple of famous manufacturers of record playing decks. Anyone remember? Let us know on email, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Dougie writes, would love to visit the UK sometime, but it probably will never happen. When my sister was in the Air Force, she was stationed at Lakenheath, England, and she loved it over there. But when she had to come back to the States, she didn't care for the service much anymore. Oh well. Had to laugh when you were talking about using fairy dishwashing soap. Why's that then, Doug? Why is that? And that's Doug in Akeley, Iowa, USA. Thank you, sir, for that. Onwards. How are we doing for time? Actually, I'm not quite sure what the time is. Let me have a quick look at my gadget here. Oh, I can't even see this because the sun there. Oh, what's that, about 49? Oh, okay. Just working out my times here. Okay, yeah, we've got about another 10 minutes or so, haven't we? Chin wag away, chin wag away. Oh, that sounds like whip crack away, doesn't it? Chin wag away, chin wag away, chin wag away. Da 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 da. What's that song? Whip Quack Away. Is it? Was it Doris Day in that? Whip Quack Away. What's that film? And Surrey with a Surrey with a fringe on top. Why have all those songs? Is it Oklahoma? Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. Love it. Hello to Nick Evans. Hello, Nick, who says, I've not emailed for a long while. Don't we know it, dear? It's a liberty, that's what it is. Please keep flooding in. I'm still listening to your show every day in secret here at work in California, USA. I'm working on the phone all day with one ear and have you in my other ear, which leaves no room to listen to office politics. Probably a good thing. Probably a good thing. I've learned over the years to try not to get involved in politics in the office, in a club, whatever. It's never a good idea, is it, eh? I've also been enjoying your YouTube videos at the weekend. You should see yourself on my 42-inch screen. Are you vain? No, to be quite honest, I think I'd rather not. So tell me, Nick, when I squint like that on your 42-inch screen, how old does that make me look? It's not always a good thing having these big screens. I mean, there must be an awful lot of actors and actresses who are fuming that high definition television was invented, and indeed the wide screens. They must be up in arms that these things have been invented. I can see a lot more being spent on cosmetic surgery that, like we were talking about earlier. By the way, has anyone, I haven't got a high definition or indeed a widescreen here, has anyone sort of noticed certain actresses and actors who look a lot older since they upgraded their television system? Name and shame here on this programme, boys and girls. Which actors, you're going to have to tell me, because I haven't got one, I have no intention of buying one, not until one of those breaks down. Who's got one of those big screens or the high definition sets now, and has noticed that certain actors and actresses that looks lovely on the small screen now look really old and haggard? Time to name and shame them on United Kingdom Talk. Come on, let me know. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Chris at unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. I need to know. All right? Nick says, people ask why I listen to your show, and I always tell them it's exciting, as you never know what's going to happen. Well, tell me about it, Nick. Even I don't know. I have a list of things to talk about, and then I completely go off the subject every single show, and then forget to go back to what I was originally talking about. I need someone shouting in my ear telling me I do. Move on, Chris, you've got boring. I don't know, do I? Anyway, Nick says he's added me to our British Podcast Hall of Fame page. So thank you very much for that. As promised, for our visitors to find you. Now, you can look this up if you want, and you'll find United Kingdom Talk there. I'm going to give you the website address. It's thebritishpages.com/radio.html. All right? Go and get a pen and I'll give that to you again. He says, if you like British souvenirs and want to win some prizes, then check out our current competition. Probably not as good as Bingay. Well, you know, nothing is really Bingay. And that's thebritishpages.com/competition HTM. So there's some competitions there if you want to try and win a prize, okay? Or click on enter competition on our front page. Keep up the good work, and I'll spread the Reardon love across the states. And that's from Nick Evans. Once again, here's the website, thebritishpages.com/radio.html. So thank you very much for the little mention on there, Nick. That's much appreciated. Incidentally, Bingay is not entirely my invention, and I'm always at pains to point this out. The name Bingay, the actual little night itself, yes, is mainly my doing. But the name Bingay comes from a very successful Australian Bingay night, which you must go and check out, although I gather it's moved now. It used to be, I'll try and check it out for next time. It used to be, someone told me it had moved, although I'm not 100% sure on that. Bingay is an Australian name. It's a night run by the excellent drag queen Mitzi McIntosh, who works and does Bingay at the Imperial Hotel Okay, and I just use the name. The actual bingo night itself, the only similarities is that at both places you win prizes, and at both places numbers are read out for you to cross off. That's about the only similarity to it. But the name I took from the Australian Bingay, which is fantastic, and you want to visit. I never want to take the credit for that name because it's not mine. It belongs to the Australians. I just brought the name across here and used it as no one had registered it on the eBay. So I do own Bingay.com and Bingay.co.uk. All right, now how are we doing on time? Do you know, I'm not sure if I've got 2 minutes now or 8. And it opens. I've got a feeling. Let me have a look on here. This might give me another clue. Just a minute. I can't see this in this sunlight, unfortunately. I think I've got another minute left. That's about all. So we're going to finish off with a little bit of an email from Suko here. And there's lots more emails from Suko coming up in the next show. And Suko says, "Dear Shifty," because I was saying on the shows, do I look shifty in these sunglasses? Now, it's a case of looking shifty or squinty. And I'm not quite sure what to do, Suko, to be honest. She says, "Dear Shifty, don't worry, you look stunning in the sun in your orange striped shirt." Yeah, that's one of my favourites, actually. I might wear it on the next show, especially for you, Suko. "You exude cuteness." You are having a laugh now, dear. You're taking the Michael, aren't you, my dear? "Love the emails and story from Susan about her beautiful cats. However, I was first with the idea of using cat hair to cover your bald spot. I will resend an email I sent you in September about cats and their many uses. Reread the last paragraph, and yes, feel free to read my mother's eulogy, which I will do, as well as the cat email on the next show. Time for me to go. Don't forget the email chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Thanks as always for joining me. I'll see you in a couple of days. For myself, Chris Reardon, bye-bye now.